Mr. Ehsan Khadir. Mr. Ehsan Khadir serves as the Advocacy Director for the Hindu American Foundation in California, with responsibilities for education, policy implementation, and community building. Over 40 years ago, at the ancient Chidambaram temple in India, a priest formally adopted Ehsan Khadir into the Hindu religion. And since then, he has been involved in the founding of many temples, including Concord, Livermore, and Iraivan Temple in Hawaii.
Professionally, Ehsan is highly acclaimed financial industry professional and has served in numerous capacities in the private industry. He also served as a finance commissioner for the city of Davis, where he currently lives. He has two lovely grown-up children, and here is with his charming wife, Sundari.
Mr. and Mrs. Ehsan Khadir have been well-wisher to our Hindu Bhajani group over the years and have attended our bhajanais whenever they are able to make time. We would now like to invite Mr. Ehsan Khadir to come up and say a few words about his observations about the Hindu Bhajani group and his reflection about this evening. Please welcome.
Thank you. Thank you, Vanakkam. Well, when Ranjan and Sugi called, and they said, Ehsan, could you come and just talk for 45 minutes on something? So I brought my 1,000-page peer-reviewed treatise on the 6 schools of Saivism that I thought I'd read to you. And what's that? Oh, not 45 minutes, 4 to 5 minutes. Oh! Well, I guess I won't need this then. Good thing I brought an abridged version. But seriously, Vanakkam, Anbe Sivamayam. We're so proud to be able to celebrate with you the 12th anniversary of the Hindu Bhajanai group. I would call it the Hindu Bhajanai family after all these years, wouldn't you? It's just a remarkable thing to behold. You know, to start a group like this, as they did in 2006, I understand there are 15 families, takes some boldness and some inspiration and courage. But to keep it going for 12 years, through thick and thin, I think that takes extraordinary commitment, and I would say even divine inspiration. So I'd like to just give them all a hand right now for their extraordinary work. You know, as a California director for the Hindu American Foundation, we go all over the state and our various groups. And I must say, this is the purest, most talented group I've seen in all of California. Just the children, I mean, they look like children, but when you hear them perform, you think they're 40 years old. It's just really extraordinary. And lots of Arangetrams have come out of this, I know. And our daughter did her Bharatanatyam Arangetram, so I know the effort that goes into that. But it is really astonishing to see, and I'm so happy to see. And of course, it is our tradition, too, from Jaffna, that we personally follow, so it's especially dear to our hearts. So just a moment to talk about what you have here. I'm addressing this mostly to the younger generation. You have a rare gem. The Hinduism that you're learning and practicing is very pure from Jaffna, Yalpanam. It's Shuddha Shaiva Siddhanta. It is the pure Saivism that even in other Hindu groups, you won't find this. You'll find something diluted and something different. And why is this so important? Why is this so pure? It's pure because it's a coherent, integrated lifestyle that takes one along each marga, Kriya Marga, Charya Marga, Yoga Marga, Jnana Marga, in a very organized way. and each person, each soul is happy and content along each stage of the way. Just to put it in everyday terms, we start with seeing the guest that visits our home as God and treating them as God. And that telescopes right into our shrine room, where we see God and invite God to visit us every day. We go to the temple and sing beautiful bhajans and see the God in the temple. And then later we practice yoga, as has been taught by so many here, and begin to see the light of God in our own heart and mind. And then we see it in others as well. Once we get pretty good at that, we might see it shining especially bright in a saint or a Satguru, and we commune with that being to get to the final steps, to Siva's feet, to realization, personal realization of God, all contained within Saiva Siddhanta in a coherent way. Each marga turns one inward to the next marga. There's nothing like it on earth, really. This is much deeper and much more important than just preserving a culture the way Italians eat spaghetti or something. It's a very deep, life-changing culture that you have been born into for a good reason, I would say. This is a very good birth you've attained. Another part of it is just in the outlook. Whatever your archetype is that you've been taught, that's how you tend to see the world. And we deal with some Vaishnava groups, for instance, and they're always telling me, oh, it's such a battle. Life is a battle. We won this battle. This was a victory. And that's perfectly good. They're wonderful people. But for us, we see Siva dancing in everything, in all of life. So isn't it a much nicer sort of matrix to view the world as Siva's dance? We tend to be more collaborative, more helpful, and see the good in all rather than good and evil. So Saiva Siddhanta, I think, helps us with that as well. One serious thing, more serious, is all the wonderful things you've learned will be challenged a bit when you go to college, talking to the younger generation. There you will have atheist professors who are Marxists. They don't believe in God. They don't know anything that you know about Shiva. And they'll try to install doubt into your mind. And they'll call doubt a virtue. They'll call criticism a virtue. And they'll try to dissuade you from the beautiful path that you've learned all these years. So don't let that happen, is my advice. Set up a shrine in your dorm if you're in a dorm, or go to college from home, or whatever it takes to stay close to Siva's feet and get the knowledge and the degree out of the college that you went there for, but don't absorb the confusion that is prevalent on a lot of campuses these days. Very important message, I think. And I've seen beautiful souls fall into some of those traps, I guess we could call them. So a serious subject. Let's see, what else? I want to make sure I get in all the things I wanted to say. Let me look at my abridged notes. Yes. So we're now living in the West. We're settled in the West, where there are many ups and downs, but the main thing that we have is religious freedom. We have the freedom to practice our religion, and other Americans will respect us for practicing our religion. There's no one persecuting us, as there are in several countries in the world. It's a time where we can use this birth to really make spiritual strides and use the freedom positively and not let it be a negative experience. So that's my message and my thoughts to the Hindu Bhajanai family tonight. we're so happy to be a small part of it and hope to be a larger part in the future. And we wish great continued success for another 12 years and beyond that as the next generation continues it into the future. Thank you very much. Anbe Sivamayam.